Testing, testing. If everyone would stand, we will call this special call City Council meeting to order. At this time, we'll have a word of silence. Thank you. I will ask Councilwoman Mitchell if she will lead us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you, and you may be seated. Welcome to the special call City Council meeting for Wednesday, January 28, 2026. We will follow the agenda as written. Council, I want to remind you that when you're speaking, please turn your microphones on, and when you're not speaking, please turn them off so we don't have any background noise. At this time, we will have the roll call. Madam Clerk.
Mrs. Wilkins-Brent.
Here.
Mr. Crisp. Mrs. Hambrick. Mr. Hampton.
Here.
Mr. Minke.
Present.
Mrs. Lesby Mitchell.
Here.
Mrs. Tingle Sames. Mr. Stone.
Here.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next on the agenda, the approval of minutes for January 12th, 2026 regular meeting. At this time, Council, you have seen the minutes. I will entertain a motion at this time.
I'll make a motion, Mayor.
Motion made by Ms. Brent. Do I have a second? Second made by Mr. Crisp. Are there further questions and/or comments?
Mayor, just one point. In the new business section, where we were talking about egress rights, one of the other points that was not included in here, but was discussed, was the need to add the South 25 area. That was one of the points that I raised in connection to that
Okay.
assessment. So if I could amend the minutes.
Okay. So we have those minutes amended. So can we approve the minutes based upon that with the addition of that to be added?
Make a motion to amend minutes.
You want to make a motion to amend the minutes?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to amend the minutes as I just stated.
Okay, motion has been made, second made by Ms. Mitchell. Are there further questions and/or comments? All those in favor of the motion to amend the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Yes, ma'am.
Then now you can do a motion to approve the amended minutes.
Yeah, now, let's go with the other one. We had a motion made and properly second. Are there any questions and/or comments? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, did I do something here?
I'll make a
Uh, Yeah,
I'll make a motion to.
okay, you're going to make a motion?
Yes.
Okay, now, second.
Second.
Second, thank you. Now, are there further questions and/or comments? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. I got a little ahead of myself. Thank you. Counselor? All right, next we have item number 4, the receipt of the check registry. If you have received those, please raise your hand. Let the record reflect that those have been received. All right. Item number 5 is public comments. And remember, you have 4 minutes, which you state your business for the council. Madam Clerk will, I got you there, sir. Madam Clerk will monitor it, and in 3 minutes, she will let you know that 3 minutes has passed. You then have 1 more minute to complete your conversation, or excuse me, your public comment. And at that time, we'll ask that you will take your seat so we can move on and have others to be able to address this council. All right, next we have Mr. Seth Johnson on the fire department.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, good evening, Council. Just a reminder, we have our graduation for the largest recruit class Georgetown has ever had. Next Friday, I believe, February the 6th. I know CAO Golden sent out an email. It's just a reminder, if you do want to attend, we'd love to have everybody. I'd like to know in advance because I'd like to have a seat reserved for our distinguished guests. So next Friday night, Great Crossings High School, February 6th at 6 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. I guess he means distinguished guests. I think he's talking about us. That's good. Glad that we know that we are distinguishing sometimes. Okay. Next, Mr. Dan Holman. He is miscellaneous.
Hi, Dan Holman, Georgetown. I just had 2 quick points. One of them was about the weather and the snow, which the city has done a good job, and the state and everybody has done a good job of pushing the snow out of the way. But just there is this one issue that comes up, and especially for me that lives on Broadway, and I think other people around town have been commenting too about the mounds of snow that get in your driveway. And down on Broadway, it's almost impossible to get out. I mean, senior citizens, someone has to come and get them. I did my neighbor's driveway, and that about killed me. I'm not as young as I used to be. But so if there was some kind of a plow system or something, the skid steer that could just get these mounds out of the way, that's a kind of a problem every year. And then one other quick comment is regarding the water supply meeting, the water supply issue, that at the last water meeting where the mayor attended and the judge executive and Michael Critt and a couple council members were there as well. It was kind of the agreed thing that there's going to be a council workshop coming up. So just that, I'm just encouraging to get that scheduled ASAP. The sooner the better to get that scheduled and on the agenda. And hopefully citizens can ask questions, like at workshops, to ask questions. That would be great. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Holman. Next, Mr. Steve Price.
Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't get signed up, but you allowed me to
I got
speak.
you.
I tried.
I got you right here.
The standard for purity in Georgetown, as I recall, having grown up here, having been educated here, having spent most of my life here, the standard for purity, when people talk about purity, they refer to the purity as pure as the driven snow. We must be pretty pure right now because we've got a lot of driven snow. And I'd like to show you something.
All right, Mr. Price, you can just, there you go. I think everybody knows what snow is, but we'll go from there.
So this is, I'm going to show you an act of extreme purity, if not ultimate purity. People don't say, as pure as Royal Spring. They don't say as pure as water from GMWSS out of the hydrant. People say as pure as the driven snow. And the second most, if the driven snow is the source for the purest water, the second most reliable and pure source is water off of everybody's roof. But the GMWSS, although at one time they were distributing rain barrels, they asked for data so they could make a better decision in regard to how to meet anticipated water demand. I went to their meeting last night, planning Azevedo said in the paper, we need more data. So I go to the meeting, walk all the way up there, walk a couple of miles, get there, and they give me 4 minutes, just like I'm getting here. I think the data I would have said, if they had allowed me, I did say just what I told you just now, but they need to encourage people to collect rainwater to reduce the demand which they anticipate. Not only serving themselves, but increasing the potability of the water that people consume. And not to mention the fact that most of the water that people consume is not for potation, not to drink, it's to wash the car, wash the clothes, flush the toilet. Time's up?
No, you have another minute.
So, I'm running for the town council. If I get elected, my first effort will be to cause mandatory water purchase from GMWSS to be changed from mandatory to optional, so that anybody who recognizes, as I have, the superiority of Skywater. By the way, a woman who, do you remember the woman's name that spoke last night? Brittany, some GMWSS employee woman sat there for 45 minutes explaining how they get their water out of the karst soil and process it. She spent a half an hour, and she admitted that the reason they had to treat it is because of agricultural runoff and chemical pollution.
Yes, 4 minutes, Mr. Thank you.
We don't have that in Skywater.
Thank you. All righty. Is there anyone else that wanted to public speak that did not sign up? All right. If not, we move on. Item number 5, mayor's comments, and I specifically addressed it to about the winter storm information and updates. This has been a kind of a different event. You know, we had a mixture of some what they said was going to happen didn't happen, but we did have a little bit more freezing rain, sleet, and we had snow. I think the numbers, and I think in Georgetown, I think somewhere between 4 to 5 inches, plus the sleet and the freezing rain. And that has made a significant impact on this community. And it also has made it to where it made some major inconvenience for a lot of people. I know they mentioned about the high snow drifts. I know they mentioned about the roads. But the point of the matter is this, and I will give a real kudos to our Public Works under Director Robert Bruin. Every time we've had a major event, they have stepped up and actually did a great job of opening most of the streets. Their primary was trying to do the primary streets first, then get to the secondaries, then to subdivisions, and then the other smaller streets and cul-de-sacs. And yeah, they still got a little bit work to do, but we're asking you all to be patient in that process because it's going to take a while. One element, we got the freezing temperatures. As you know that, if you know about science, those chemical agents that actually help melt snow, the salt, and will only work at a certain degree. But once it gets to that degree, below that, then it becomes ineffective. So they have done a great job of trying to do the best they could under those circumstances. So that being said, they're going to continue on to do that. They have been running about 12-hour shifts since Saturday. And so they have been very on tune with that. Also, a good shout out to our not only the Public Works, but also to our first responders. Police and fire have done a great job of actually going out into the community and helping our citizens. They have been giving rides to people, especially our nurses, and getting them to and from work, doctors, and people that needed assistance, getting them out of ditches and so on. They have been doing that. And also our dispatch, who's been handling those calls and directing them to the right spot. Again, I'm asking this, you all to, again, be patient. We're still working this. We'll get there. But I know it's frustrating. I know some of you don't like digging out, but I'm proud of our first responders and our Public Works on what they've done thus far. We'll continue to do that. And a big shout out to Hinkle's, who paving and so on. They were the ones, if you look on West Main and East Main, they've actually shut down the road to actually partner with us and Public Works to actually go and remove some of the snow. And they did this on their own dime. They did not charge us anything, so that is a great partnership. And this is not the first time they've done this. They have been doing this for years when we have a major snow event. So I want to thank them personally, and this council should thank them for what they have done. And if you see them out, especially Mr. Hinkle and all them, tell them thank you, because that is a big lift. If you have not been downtown, now you see what it looks like. It really looks good compared to other places. Once again, be patient. We're going to get there, and we'll move from there. All right. Next, we have item number 7, GMWSS. That's Southern Sales Company for $11,195. Mr. Esposito.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for letting us put a couple of things on this agenda tonight so we can go ahead and process these. But this first purchase order, this is for a new level control panel at our Derby pump station. We try to budget for these through our collections budget, do 2 or 3 of these every year, but this just, the water level in the pumps is controlled by a level sensor. This is a fog rod, and we're trying to put one of these in every pump station over a number of years, but this is, as I said, budgeted, and we reached out to multiple vendors, with Southern Sales being the best price. They provide the installation and the programming. They've done this work for us before, so we're confident that they can do this the right way, and we're seeking your consideration.
Motion, Mayor.
Okay, you have heard the motion. Okay, you've heard the request. Motion made by Ms. Mitchell, second made by Mr. Minke. Are there further questions and/or comments? All those in favor of this motion for Southern Sales Company for $11,195 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Let the record reflect that it's passed. Item B, Judy Construction Company for $272,646.
This is pay application number 57 on our upgrade and expansion project. This is for the billing period of December. This is kind of just where we're at. I don't have a lot of update on the project other than we're still, I guess the next goal, as I think I said on the last one, is substantial completion sometime later this year. But we're just continuing work every day on the project.
All right.
Mayor, I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion is made by Mr. Hampton. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second made by Ms. Mitchell. Are there further questions and/or comments? All those in favor of this motion for Judy Construction Company, $272,646, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Next, item 8, Finance, and Ms. Stacy's going to come up. She has about 5 or 6 items to go over.
Yeah. Devin and I are going to tag team a couple of these. I'm going to take the first 2. As mentioned at the December 9th work session, and we also went over in our last Finance Committee meeting, we had a few little items, like we've said, related to technology and some other systems outside of the construction contract that we would be bringing back to you over the next couple of meetings. So these are the last 2 items other than, I believe, furniture that we have. And the first one is the Forward Edge Security Camera and Access Control System. This is purchased with a cooperative purchasing contract. This was not intended to be part of the GMP contract, which is the construction contract with Codell. Anything that falls under that contract would be subject to the construction management fee. So just a reminder that our construction contract included all of the infrastructure, cabling, and everything that was needed for these systems, but the actual installation of the systems and the parts that make up those themselves. We did budget $100,000 in the 25-26 budget for the security system. However, if you recall, we received the audio-visual quote first. We approved that at one of our previous council meetings. So we went ahead and used that $100,000 that we had budgeted for the audio-visual. So we have about $16,000 left out of that original budgeted amount. As we mentioned, we would possibly need to add some for a couple of these items. So this quote came in at $104,550, and so we need to add about additional $88,000 into the budget. Obviously, Monday night, this would have come along with first reading of the budget amendment. You'll get that at the next meeting, and that will be in there. Again, just to note on that, the original AV plan was an in-house, which was no longer feasible. We had some prior staff that would have been able to handle that. With that staff no longer here, we needed something a little more suitable, a little more like what we've got here for live streaming, recording, ability to display, do Zoom technologies. So all of that played into needing to add this additional AV system and security system that were not in that original budget, and then just took us some time to get those systems developed and get the cost for those. So, and again, this security camera system will integrate with the system that PD purchased. So we've currently been using a local company to provide security at certain locations, but this will hopefully allow us to move forward with the city being able to have those security systems under one umbrella that PD can access for everything. So I think if I have any other questions about the security system in particular, I will do my best to answer those.
Are there any questions? I believe we need a motion for the first one, A.
Motion, Mayor.
Okay, that's for the municipal order for forward edge security cameras and an access control system. Motion made by Ms. Mitchell. Do I have a second? Second made by Mr. Crisp. Are there further questions and/or comments? All those in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Thank you. Let the record reflect it passed at 5-1. Madam Clerk? Thank you. All right. Item B, municipal order for net gain technology, City Hall network equipment, and move.
Yes, so the timing worked out where some of our network equipment is coming to the end of life and would have needed to be replaced anyway. We did anticipate a little bit of this in the budget with the firewall. So this purchase will be coming out of the IT budget. I started to say general government, but we made IT its own budget as part of our October amendment. So we now have an IT capital projects budget. This will be coming out of that line item. So in addition to the firewall switches and other things, the professional services that come along with that, from installing the new equipment, moving anything else back into City Hall, this will be provided by NetGain, who is our managed service provider for IT. Again, we had budgeted about $12,000 for the firewall. We are deferring one project, the disaster recovery. We have ran this by our IT liaison and NetGain. They feel that the backups we have in place currently are sufficient enough to defer that project at this time. We're keeping the cybersecurity assessment in the budget. That was their higher priority, so we wanted to leave that budget intact and not take it. If we'd been able to absorb that as well, we wouldn't have needed to ask for much of a budget amendment. But with this, the quote is $92,617. We have about $72,000 available in the IT capital projects budget by deferring that disaster recovery project to a future year. And the budget amendment that you'll see at the next meeting will have $21,000 added to the IT capital projects budget for this.
Are there questions? At this time, I will entertain a motion.
Motion, Mayor.
Motion made by Mr. Hampton. Do I have a second to this motion?
Second.
Second made by Ms. Mitchell. Are there further questions and/or comments?
Mayor, if I could,
Yes.
Stacy, how much of this current system, and it may be Devin, how much of the current system is end of life and ready to be replaced?
I believe the firewalls and switches that I know for sure. I know the firewall is $12,000. I can't remember if there's one or two in City Hall, but you can probably
Yeah.
comment on more.
The firewall and switches at City Hall, we actually budgeted for, I think, 6 different firewalls citywide, just kind of a profile of things coming end of life. We're working on getting things on a schedule where they're not coming end of life at the same time. Obviously, you kind of have to start staggering that, but at City Hall, it's at least one firewall. I don't think there's a second one that's end of life, and then the switches.
So, but they're relatively close to end of,
Oh, yeah,
End of-
they like, it was budgeted in this fiscal year that we would be replacing
Okay.
those regardless. Yep.
okay, good enough.
What about the backup systems that you're carrying over, where are they in their life?
The current backup systems, I think those are through NetGain, is that correct? The redundancy, the backups that we have?
Yeah.
So those are done through NetGain?
Right.
So those are done through NetGain, so we didn't have to replace any additional equipment to take care of those. And again, we will, I think that would be through the servers and other things. The servers we had just updated the City Hall server, I think about a year ago. So all of that is updated to my knowledge. I don't know if you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, and that's something that as we go into the next budget cycle, especially now that we've kind of created that intentional IT line item as opposed to kind of baking it into general government, that's something that I know Negin and Sarah have been working on, being more intentional about showing where things are in their life cycle and showing, here's start of life, here's end of life, and planning the budget that way. This isn't a knock. We've historically not done that. We've kind of reacted as needed. So I think that additional level of engagement is benefiting us just because there is intentional budget planning. There is, projections for years, the years to come in terms of what will be needed, as opposed to just shotgun as we need it coming back to the council. So I see that improving a lot. I think Sarah does a really good job with that, and she's got folks at NetGain have been engaging a lot better for the budget planning process. So that's something we can provide as part of the budget process this year, is just kind of a 5-year outlook, I guess, on what's going to be needed and what's coming in the future for the council.
So I'm not sure I heard what I heard there.
Just that as part of the budget process, we can bring you.
No. The units that we're carrying over, so what's the life of those units?
What do you mean by carrying over?
The postponement.
The postponement.
That's not, I think that's about backup processes in terms of
Right.
backing up on the
Right.
server, not like a physical, firewall backup. So I think when we say backups, we mean the processes that were
The disaster
completed.
Yeah.
recovery.
That was a new
Yes.
project. It was not
Yeah, that was a budgeted project that we were going to complete, that they said we are fine to defer that to next fiscal year. We are comfortable with our processes of backing up your system, that you're not in danger. We would prefer to keep the cybersecurity assessment in the budget and complete that this fiscal year. But in terms of the disaster recovery solution, because that's kind of how they're approaching it, is a solution, they're comfortable with our existing processes, that's not, urgent and is something that can be deferred.
Okay.
So.
Any other questions or comments?
How much is the 5-year?
Excuse me, ma'am. No, thank you. All right. Motion made, properly second. No more questions or comments? All those in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Let the record reflect the motion passed, 6-0. Item C, municipal order for Codell, City Hall change order number 14.
Devin is going to take over on the change orders for me, but just a brief update. All of the construction cost, we had a lot of pre-construction costs, architectural design. I'll be bringing a summary of those expenses and where we are now that we're closing in on the end of this project at the next meeting. So just to let you know, these are some of these last pieces we've been waiting to come in as we wait to make maybe a final order of furniture and such. So, but at the next meeting, I'll bring you an update.
Thank you, Stacy. So we'll start with item 14. We went ahead and broke these out into individual change orders. Hoped to have more at this meeting, but thought important to move forward with the items we do have. So item 14 is a credit of just over $40,000 for the additional asphalt repair being removed from the contract. If you'll recall, back earlier this year, or earlier in 2025, change order 11 credited a portion of the asphalt back to us. That was right around $33,000. With this credit, the total credited back on asphalt is just under $75,000. The scope of what that would have covered is a very small portion behind City Hall, where the active site is essentially, and then the alley and just in front of City Hall. So that was scoped at $75,000. So all of that has been credited back to the project so that we can do a full-scale pave of the entire back lot. We'll still do the other items, but taking it out and completing it as an independent project, one, we think is going to be a more comprehensive, better look than a patch job. But two, I think we can get it done significantly cheaper under our unit price contract. Just I don't want to go outside the scope of what this approval is, but we'll have more information on that, and I think we're going to get a better product for much less money. So this simply removes the rest of the asphalt repair from the contract and puts the contingency up to $364,000 and change.
All right, are there questions? Yes,
So the way that it will be left until that point is just the DGA, the loose gravel?
Yes, yeah, so when we close out the project this spring, when the asphalt plant's open, we will go from the very back of City Hall all the way through the entire lot, including where the pavilion is. The county actually removed their paving from their project and kept that credit handy to apply towards our project, so we have about $18,500 from the county going towards our project. But, I mean, as soon as the asphalt plant's open, I know everybody's gonna be in line hopping, but we'll move forward with that ASAP. And we can also use our MAP funds for the Court Street, the public roadway alley. So that would go all the way on the side of City Hall back to Washington and then in the front as well. So kind of a cocktail of funding to get that together, but ultimately, just for a frame of reference, that $75,000 I referenced for a very small amount of asphalt work is, the quote we have for the entire back parking lot right now is $100,000. So we're getting quite a bit more done at quite a better price. So, but yeah, as soon as the plant's open, and it'll kind of come fairly in line with the completion of the project, a little bit later, but.
Okay, because that was the ultimate question, is whether or not folks would be driving on loose gravel versus staying off of it until it can be paved.
I think they'll be driving on loose gravel, but I'll confirm that. So.
all right. Are there any questions? I need a motion.
Motion, Mayor.
Motion made by Ms. Mitchell. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second made by Mr. Hampton. Are there further questions and/or comments? All those in favor of the motion for municipal order for Codell City Hall, change order number 14, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay.
Absolutely not.
Item D, municipal order Codell City Hall, change order 15.
So this one is for $3,800 and change addition. These are owner-requested changes to address some access control updates to fit with the scope of the AV solution or the access control solution that y'all just approved. It also relocates an ADA button to comply with the Kentucky Heritage Council requirements. They kind of limit you on where you can place things. They don't want you to place it on the stone. So that was something that we obviously didn't catch on the front end, so that's a small change to make, but any questions on that one?
Question? At this point, I will entertain a motion. Motion made by Mr. Minky. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second made by Mr. Crisp. Are there further questions and/or comments? All those in favor of the municipal order, Codell, City Hall, change order number 15, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay.
Nay.
And item number E, change municipal order Codell, City Hall, change order number 16.
So this one, I want to thank Chase and his team for working really closely with our folks on. In working with them, they requested that we relocate this, a water line, instead of below the sidewalk to the street to the east, so I guess East Court Street, in order to adequately make the fire department connection. So it's a change that we've been working on for a long time. I know you've seen it excavated there. It's going to require some additional excavation. It's not captured in the language of this municipal order, but we are still talking to Georgetown Municipal about whether there's any kind of opportunity to share cost on this. So once again, appreciate Chase and his team, specifically Daryl on the engineering side, working with our folks to get this done and make sure we have the correct fire department line connection there.
All right. You have heard it. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion made by Ms. Mitchell. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Second made by Mr. Minky. Are there further questions and/or comments?
Mayor, if I could-
Yes, sir.
And I want to-
why was this not included in this project? Why are we breaking it out?
What do you mean not
You're
included?
working with GMWSS to do something out and get it away from this project and spending money, and it's gonna come out of general fund or some other fund. Why are we not including that in this project?
It was included, well, it's still included in the project. It's a change order to the contract. It's been included in the project, but in working with them, they requested that we move where the line was going. So it's always been contemplated in the project. The location has changed of where the line's running.
And I just wanted to ask Devin, I noticed when we got our materials that each time we had one of these changes, it was listed what the contingency, how it affected the contingency fund. So when you're finished with F, letter F, could you tell us where that puts that, or you had, it was listed
Yeah,
individually?
Yeah, I'll review that part of the
Okay.
line on the
I
third
just,
whereas.
just so we all know at the end what all these changes make and where we stand with the contingency fund.
Absolutely. Glad to do it.
And then just confirming, so this is additional line work that has not been done yet.
Correct.
That needs to be done.
It's largely the excavation.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Motion has been made and properly second. No other questions and or comments. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Item number F, municipal order. Codell City Hall, change order number 17.
So this one is also a credit just under $14,500. If you'll recall, we had to order new windows on the front. There was a little bit of a dispute on interpretation of the plans in terms of how much demolition was to be done and the width of those windows. Ultimately, the contractor and the subcontractor determined that they would essentially eat that cost. So when they had to make that reorder, there was, I guess, a little bit of shuffling in terms of paperwork on their side, and this is kind of like the catch-up on that, and that is a credit to us in the fact that they were eating those costs, and so we get back some profit. There was a 15% overhead and profit charged earlier in the project, so we're being credited that back, and then also just credited the difference on the incorrect windows. So just something that happened a while ago that we're just cleaning up as we approach the end of the project. So as Ms. Leslie Mitchell requested, you can see in the second whereas statement that this leaves present day, if this is approved, a contingency of $362,517.44. Coming into tonight, we were at around $323,000. I know we had those two credits. I'm not going to be naive enough to think that the next round is going to look like that, the next final round. The steel for the mayor's office and those reinforcements, and a couple other things, most certainly not going to be credits. We do have some other credits upcoming that the design team is kind of advocating for, just making sure we're capturing any credits due to the city. But $362,000 and change is where we are leaning tonight. So.
All right. Is there any other questions? At this time? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Any projection of where you think you will be?
I requested a memo saying that and have not received that yet. So
Thank you.
I really hoped that tonight you would be seeing kind of one final change order with a bow on top. I'm very disappointed that we're not doing that, but I think it's important to keep moving forward, and I would expect that to be on the next agenda. Ultimately, not comfortable bringing you all a furniture purchase to approve and some of those other things until we know where that number is. So I very much expect that to be on the next agenda.
Mayor, if I can, Devin, on the windows, were there windows ordered and then had to be changed? What happened to the windows that were changed out? Were they returned?
The contractor and subcontractor ate the cost, so they either have those for another project or, I mean, they're under their ownership now.
Like the window at Tracy's office that was over the old fire door. Was there a new window bought for it?
No, they removed that and refurbished it and reinstalled it.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And again, thank you for working with that, because I tell you what, it's been something to work with, and we have been, they've been put on notice that we want some of this information, because council got to have this information before we move forward and knowing where we're at. And I think they understand that, so we'll keep working with that, and hopefully by the next council meeting, we'll have that to present to you. If there's no other questions and or comments.
Just one more.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for foreseeing that question
Yeah.
and asking that.
For sure.
All right. No more comments? All those in favor of the motion for municipal order, Codell? Oh, I'm sorry. Getting ahead of myself again. How about a motion? Thank you. Motion made by Mr. Hampton, second by Mr. Minky. Now, is there further questions and or comments? All's in favor of the motion for municipal order, Codell, City Hall change order number 17, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Thank you. Thank you, Devin. Thank you, Stacy, for your work on this. I know it's been a labor of love trying to get that all done, but and I'm using it, and I'm being a little bit sarcastic, I know, but anyway. But thank you for diligent work with it. I know there were some things you were dealing with, and we appreciate that. I appreciate that very much, that you taking the lead and getting that all taken care of. Item number 9 is the police municipal order for enterprise fleet management 2026-2027 vehicle order.
Good evening. So
Good
I'm
evening.
up here kind of doing the same thing we've done the last couple years. The vehicle market is still a little volatile. We did have a chance to meet with our enterprise rep and kind of go through the city account as a whole. So I am happy to report that we've experienced for the first time in the history, I believe, of our contract with Enterprise, a reduction in maintenance costs this year. So we're kind of inching closer to that, the intended purpose of us going with this. But in terms of the volatility of the market, we did find out in that meeting as well that all the allotments for the Fords are gone and that the Chevy Tahoes, which is the other vehicles we utilize, are coming to a close very soon. So we wanted to come in front of you tonight and ask for permission to go ahead and order 17 new vehicles, 16 of which will replace frontline vehicles, one of which will replace a 2025 that was totaled. We just recently got, I think within the last week, got the insurance claim on that and just wanted to go ahead and clump it in this just to keep it clean.
Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
Oh, thank you. At this time, I will entertain a motion.
Motion, Mayor.
Shaking your head, I mean, motion by Ms. Mitchell. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second made by Mr. Minky. Are there further questions and or comments? Yes, sir.
So is there an anticipated date of when the newer products were going to come out to replace those that they're not making?
So the only estimate that they were able to give us would be sometime in fiscal year '27. So more than likely, either this time or a little later next year, if we were to hold off. So the delivery of these wouldn't take place until after July 1st of this year. So it wouldn't be something, we're more or less asking permission and then letting you all know that we will kind of go behind and put this in our budget ask for next year.
So will they be staggered, the
So,
delivery?
yeah, so generally, the way it's worked in years past, they do a pretty good job of projecting when they think we're going to get the vehicles. We still have 2 vehicles that we haven't taken delivery of from this current fiscal year's order. So I anticipate even with this, that it'll probably be spaced out sometime like the first 6 months, first 8 months of next fiscal year, as opposed to if we wait to order, we potentially are then going to be a year behind because some of those will then stagger over into the fiscal year beyond that. So
And this brings your total fleet to how many?
right now, we're at 120 vehicles. So whenever we've come to you all early, we're not looking. We hope to continue to be able to grow, and we'll still advocate for growth within our ranks, if you will. But these are just for today's needs. So,
All right.
Mayor.
Yes.
This question, I guess, probably directed at Stacy. The
Stacy.
anticipated delivery date on or after July 1st, 2026, that's in the new year. But we're going to start paying a monthly lease?
No, we're not. This is something, and Devin can help me piggyback this one. So there is technically in state statute law that says we're not supposed to spend anything before we budget, we're approving. So you'll hear about this more as we go into this next budget year. We have been a little, I guess, behind the scenes this year, trying to work and make sure that before we approve any contracts, anything like that, we have accounted for it in the budget. So let's say, now, I mean, we're gonna tell Enterprise, don't deliver them before July 1, but in a hypothetical situation, if these cars arrived in 3 months and L&W just got them right through with all of the upfit and lighting and graphics, highly unlikely, but we would have them covered if they got here early. Probably will not happen, but it's been requested that we make sure that anything that we've approved in the contract is covered in the budget. So it is part of that mid-year budget amendment, even though we don't anticipate spending it this year.
Okay.
It
That's-
is just that legality of making sure we are following state statute.
Right.
KLC will tell you there's a lot of cities do things a lot of different ways, but we are working towards making sure we're following that.
Okay. So we're
legal
just
statute.
earmarking this money just in case.
It's
delivered
earmarking,
early? Okay.
you know, just to make
All right.
sure we're following legalities and state law, that we have earmarked money
Gotcha.
for a purchase that
Okay.
you're about to approve.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Stacy, for that explanation. And, okay, any other questions or comments? I think I've already had a motion, and I've had a second, and no more questions and no comments. All those in favor of this motion for the Police Municipal Order Enterprise Fleet Management 2026-2027 vehicle order, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. All right. With no other business to be brought before this council, item number 10, we are adjourned.